Nissan advise the air filter is replaced every 36,000 miles or every 3 years, though it should be replaced every 18,000 miles or every 18 months in dusty conditions. Other than a new air filter, you'll need the following to change that filter. Just your hands really, and possibly an 8mm socket. The filter I used was a budget Napa NFA 1107 at £8.70 delivered. A MAL, MAN, etc. could possibly be double that, but you do get what you pay for. So there's not really a lot to show here other than the actual filter itself. So here is the filter, which is a Napa, which I think might be a budget one due to the cost. So these are the others that the filter actually mentions on the label, so you may wish to look at those if you're after a slightly higher quality one. So let's get to it. Step 1, open the bonnet. So the bonnet catch is on the driver's side as shown there, and we just put our finger under there, push the catch to the left. Here's a close-up of that catch, and then the bonnet can push up and you can put the stay on the left hand side in that oval hole there. I'll mark that with a little yellow arrow, like so. And here's some overview photos before we start. So photo 1 shows the battery and the air cleaner uppercase. Also you can see the mass airflow sensor connector and the mass airflow sensor itself. And here you can see the 4 clips that hold the upper housing in position, and also the mass airflow connector. And in this photo you can see the air duct to the engine as well as the mass airflow sensor itself. And this is the lower filter housing with the old filter removed, and also note there's a water drain hole there and that needs to be kept clear. Step 2, remove the old filter. Simply flick off all 4 of the upper housing clips. And it is as simple as it sounds. There's the back clip 1, the other side clip 2, and these 2 clips lift upwards, 3 and 4. And then you should be able to lift this part of the housing up. There's your filter. Just need to pull it down out of the upper part of the housing like so. And there we are. And that one's looking pretty dirty, so we'll get a clean one. So we've got our new filter now. So we, in theory, just need to lift the top off, pop this in, and put the top back down and do the 4 clips up. Now it might be a little bit more challenging than that, because the outside of the filter does have like a rubber membrane, and that part needs to actually slot inside the top of the housing. There's like a groove up there, so we need to sort of push it inside that groove. And as you can see, it's not as easy as you might think. So you've sort of got to tuck it in there and use your fingers and just push it all in. Make sure it's in that groove in the top of the housing. And once it's in there, it should sit down flat then. That's it. And then we can just pop the clips. There's 2 of them. The one at the back. That's in. Nearly. Yep, that's the 3rd one. And finally the 4th clip. All done. How to remove the top part completely. You may need an 8mm socket for the Jubilee clip. So if you wish to remove the top to fit the filter, you can do so using an 8mm socket like so. Remove this Jubilee clip, then disconnect the connector from the mass airflow sensor, being careful not to bang the sensor inside that tube. You can now remove the top part like so. So the filter's already been removed earlier. Now in this instance I'm going to degrease this bottom part of the housing and make sure that the drain hole is clear. I'm only going to use a light degreasant. This is something for cycling. I don't want to use anything too aggressive. So I'm just basically trying to get rid of the muck in there and clear that little hole. So what I'm going to now use is hot water in a pressurised bottle. So in effect it's like steam cleaning. So that's cleared the hole, as you can see there at the bottom. The water's now draining away underneath the car. So mop all that up, because you don't want any water or anything else still left in there. So I'm just going to point to the hole. There it is, just there. So make sure that's unblocked. Now to fit the new filter into the top part of the air filter housing. In some ways it is actually easier to do it this way because you've got better access to where the filter has to actually fit snugly. So that's how it will be. So this top part must fit into the channel on the top part of the housing. And you need to just push it down, squeeze it into that channel and make sure it's in there nice and firmly and not hanging out. Now that can now be put into the bottom part of the housing like so. Being careful not to damage any of the wires or anything. That should slot in now. And we can put the air duct back onto the mass airflow sensor like so. We just do our 4 clips, one at the back. So it might require a little bit of force because it is a new filter and it's fitting snugly in there. So clip 1, yep, clip 2, the 3rd clip and the 4th clip. And don't forget to reconnect the connector. And then we just got to do this Jubilee clip up on the air duct. And that's all looking good. And then just shut the bonnet. Like so. I was wondering what the actual surface area of the old filter was. So time to cut it apart. So using my air saw, if anyone came into the garage at this point, they'd probably think I'd completely lost the plot. There's Mark cutting open an air filter. But it would be interesting to know how many sheets of paper the same size of the filter it actually adds up to. I just fancied finding out. So I'm going to cut each of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So it's about 9 times larger than the actual surface area of the filter, which is an interesting pointless fact. Some photographs for reference. These are the same photographs that were seen earlier on in the video, but as I always add photographs to the end of my videos, I thought I'd keep them in just for consistency. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.